episode is brought to you by GameFound. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello, folks.
I'm Mike Delisio.
Welcome to Crowdsurfing, a show in which we talk about Kickstarters and all the other founded projects on games. That was a really awkwardly said sentence. Let me try that again.
Do it again.
Right, let's go.
It's not live or anything.
This is a show where we talk about crowdfunding on Kickstarter and GameFound and possibly other platforms.
Much better. Nice.
Yeah, that was
good. We'll use that take when we put this on the internet.
Got it.
All right, well, folks, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I would venture to say, folks, at this point in time, we are back to normal with Kickstarter. There are projects going up consistently now.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have plenty to talk about today, the good, the bad, and the dice.
And the hot garbage.
Are you equating hot garbage and dice?
No, it's a callback, Tom, to that wonderful moment when we discovered that there was a game called Hot Garbage.
Yes, there is. And I do need to get a hold of a copy of that because I'm going to make Z review it.
Correct.
Great. I'll be happy to. Yeah, I think it's a good batch this week. Like you said,
Yeah.
Tom, it's we have things to pick from now. They obviously not everything's going to be for everyone, but there are choices up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get started here, folks. If you don't know how to change up your typical Euro game, add orcs.
That's
We
right.
have Orconomics 2nd edition. This one's throwing me off a little bit because I don't believe I've ever played the 1st edition.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I have. I don't think I've heard of the original. Maybe I did, and I don't recall. But I like the look of the 2nd edition. I don't know how different that is, but I like the artwork quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little surprised that it wasn't funding better than it is so far, because it really has a nice look to the campaign page itself. I don't know that I have a good sense for how the game plays. Is it really an economic game? Is it but it looks good.
Well, I'm going to let me look up the 1st edition on Board Game Geek. So this came out in, I don't see a year here, actually. It has 8 ratings and 2 comments. Well, that's weird. Is it not even been out yet?
They kickstarted 2nd edition a month after the 1st edition.
Well, let's go see
that would
when they
explain it.
kickstarted the 1st edition.
No, I don't know. I'm kidding, but that would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Not
see it
there.
on here.
It's a mystery,
They
Tom.
skip 1st edition. They were like, this is too good for 1st edition. Let's go right to
Right.
2nd.
Well,
Right.
what does it say here? Does it say it's yada, yada, yada? It's an economic. They don't act like it's a 2nd edition. Oh, you get a copy of the limited deluxe 1st printing of the 2nd edition.
Huh.
I want that limited 1st copy of the 2nd edition.
Maybe we're being trolled in this orc game.
Oh, I get it.
You like that?
I like the, like I said, I like the look of this. I like the board
Mhm.
with those sort of wedges. I think that's a neat look. I don't
Right.
actually like the theme. It's like, I just think it
seems
sounds
forced.
lame. It seems forced. It sounds
Mhm.
lame. Like it's trying too hard with the whole, when orcs aren't, pillaging, they're tackling economics. Har har. It's
Someone
like,
in chat said the 1st edition was only in Russian.
Oh,
okay.
interesting. Okay. The part that seems cool to me is, from what I can tell, you have different wedges that go in, and you're not going to play with all the wedges every game, and depending on what wedge is next to what wedge will change the strategy. Sounds like a neat idea.
Yeah.
I like these. I did not know there were books that were. I didn't know there was a
Be
book
careful,
called
Tom.
Orconomics and Son of a Lich. I didn't know those books existed. They almost sound like they're
Shocking.
made up books.
Shocking. Well, I mean,
You know.
they probably are made up books, Tom. I'm assuming they're fiction. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks pretty good.
I do too. I would play this. I wouldn't personally back this one, but I
Mhm.
like the look enough that I would sit
Yeah.
down to play this game because I do
Right.
like that art style. I just think the theme again feels like you said, Mike, it feels forced.
Mhm.
Again, I feel. I feel cautiously optimistic. Is my words here.
Oh, it said right there, why second edition? So maybe
Where is that?
right there.
Oh, that's right. You never heard of the first one.
Yeah.
Can't orcs count the two? Okay. So it says it was
Well,
never
that's good.
released outside of Russia.
Okay.
All right. But I wouldn't have. Then why would they? I don't know. I wouldn't have advertised it that way. I would have said
They even
Orconomics.
say it right. They even tell you, Tom. They're answering your question before you ask it. The third one down there, it says we could have just invented a different name. They love the name, so they decided to keep it and just tag it as second edition to drive home the message that it's new. Right?
Is it though?
All right. Let's move on.
Tom's not convinced.
Regency game with a grumpy person and a creepy person.
Which
Yeah,
one's
I
the
don't know
creepy
quite
one and
what's
which
going on
one's the
here.
grumpy one? That's my question.
I think they're interchangeable.
I know, I agree. I do like her eye makeup. That is on point. Very
She
on
has
brand.
Eye of Horus as her eyes, you know.
Yeah,
Alright,
she's very on brand. She's like, check it out. I mean, she is definitely posting stories on her Instagram with this eye makeup. You know what I mean?
That's
I
quite a
don't hate
filter she's got going.
the like wide swath of different cultures they got in here. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of your speed, Tom, right? You like that stuff.
I
Mhm.
do, except this artwork is the slightest bit from a video game, Civilization, the video game.
I think it's creepy, actually. I find
Yeah.
it very
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley-esque. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
There's something about it that feels like a photograph that is just barely touched up, or like someone drew a friend and then put a regal outfit on them, and it doesn't quite feel right. I mean, that's again, it's
Yeah,
artwork, so
right.
Anybody who looks at it at a glance, you'll know whether it's something you like or not. There's no need for me to discuss it, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I'm certainly
and
interested in this, but it looks simple to play, though.
It does. In looking at the video, there was like pros and cons. The things that appealed to me was that it looks like it plays very quickly, so it looks like it wouldn't overstay its welcome. That's a plus. The thing that maybe seemed like a negative to me is that they did mention kind of a take that type of a thing where you play things that steal other people's citizens, but you could defend against it. I don't know. I just,
feels
to
like
me,
such a
take that.
dated
It's just so lazy. I mean, I feel like it's a lazy mechanism. Take that. So in most cases, I know that's a broad statement, but
Mike said, all designers lazy. All righty. I will say here, after this next Kickstarter, I saw this the other day and I went home and I said to my wife, we have not had beef stroganoff in a long time.
there you go.
We need to get that back on the menu.
Got to get that beef stroganoff in.
So this one's doing quite well.
Yes. Have any of you played the first one?
Wait, what's the first one?
Isn't this hasn't this been out before?
Has it?
I guess not. It's just a deluxe edition. They made it sound like they were making it a deluxe version now.
A new game.
Brewer has picked up on the thing that Tasty Minstrel was doing. Remember, Tasty Minstrel made those deluxified games. That's what Game Brewer's been doing for like their past 5 or 6 games.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta tell you,
it sounds like a deluxe edition of something that's been out, but no, this is the one. This is just deluxe.
Right. It's been a while since a straight Euro game has been as appealing to me as this one is. There's something about this that is just like it's getting my Euro tingly senses going. It looks really good to me.
Well, this is the designer of Hansa Teutonica and Firenze
and
Gugong, which got a lot of praise. I think Game Brewer did Gugong.
I believe they did, yes. I'm telling you, this looks like just the right weight. Like it's gonna, have some nice crunchy decisions, but not be overwhelming. I think the production looks stunning. I'm pretty excited about this.
I do like their deluxe versions of games. I really do. There's something about that just tickles me. And this is the kind of game you want to take some of these Euro game companies who say, well, no, Euro games can't look that nice. And you're like, yes, they can.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's no reason to. I don't think anybody is. Again, I don't understand. Maybe some people are put off by a game that looks prettier than it used to, but that's got to be a really, really tiny amount of people who are like, no, I'd rather have thin cards and badly punched tokens than deluxe pieces. I just don't understand, but it doesn't hurt the other way. You know what I mean?
Right.
I would rather, like, I'll play the one that doesn't look great, but if you give me a gorgeous looking game, I'm much more willing to come to the table. It's absolutely.
Especially
Do you
since
want
in
to get
today's
the Czars edition, Mike?
No. But in today's market, $70, I think, is a pretty reasonable price for what it looks like you're getting here. I mean, you're getting upgraded pieces, gorgeous art. You're getting a custom insert. And I mean, it's got a historical theme, but not one that I feel has been driven into the ground. So I don't know. I don't know if the game's any good, but I'm very interested in what I've seen so far.
I'm with you, Mike. I think this one is top-notch looking.
Yeah.
All right, Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold. So this is the second game in history that is a sequel to a Legacy. We've had Pandemic do it twice, and now Aeon's End Legacy. I played the first one. I thought it was okay, but I'm hesitant to say that. So if you're a fan of Aeon's End, I think it's the greatest game of all time. I am so right there with you. There is not even a better game. Cosmic Encounter sucks compared. I have to say that because every time I hint that Aeon's End may not be amazing, I get negative comments.
It does have its fans for sure.
It really does.
This says in this final Legacy chapter, unless it sells really well, of course.
Right. I guess my thing is, who needed this much more content? And I know there will be people that answer me, but I mean, this has what, like 800 cards or something like that? How many people are playing through all of this stuff?
Well,
I mean,
again,
if
the fans,
this is,
maybe the fans. This even has a reset pack, baby.
Then it must be the only game you're ever playing, and you must be playing 365. You must be playing this every day of the year, and it's the only thing you're playing, because it just seems like, I mean, I know it's silly to argue about too much content. Look, not over 900 cards. I'm getting stressed out just looking at that picture. I don't know. This
Mike
just
is going to
seems
be
like
reviewing
too
this
much.
game for the Dice Tower. I do like a world map,
man.
though, Mike. That's not something that's typical for Aeon's End.
No, I guess. Aeon's End is a game that I probably should like more than I do. I found it incredibly generic, but that's me.
Well, fans will love it.
Yeah. And it's obviously doing
well.
very well. $500,000, right?
All right.
I guess I don't think I agree with that comment of like, it's too much. It's sort of up to people to decide that. It's okay for that project to offer 900 cards, or you can go and get that Bandada game, which had like
16.
a handful of bird cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I think that's fine. I think it is kind of weird sometimes when a game has expansions and we don't need, like, there's 18 expansions and they instill that fear of like, if you don't get them now, you'll never see this miniatures, and you haven't even played the game. So they kind of, they prey on that fear of you might like the game and then you're going to wish you had backed everything. That's a little predatory, but if this game is this big, okay, then this game is this big.
Did you see this pledge here, though? For $409, you get a copy of this with all stretch goals, plus everything else.
Like every game ever made, everything
the
else?
4 Aeon's Ends that are out there with their expansions, plus the original Legacy. All right, let's guess. I haven't looked at it yet. How many people back this? The everything.
Okay, you're saying the 400, the everything. I'm going to say
82.
I'm going to say 95.
45.
That's closer without going below.
79. This is still such a weird thing to me. I know some people told me. I got an email from someone last time I mentioned this, but it's still weird to me that someone's like, I've never played Aeon's End, so I'm going to buy all of it.
I agree.
Now, someone emailed me about this and said, well, I played other people's stuff and I really liked it. And so I just decided to jump in. And yeah, it makes sense. This is not also a long date here. November is not bad. If you're back in this now.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I wonder if you have to wait till November to get everything, or if they'll ship out everything that exists now and then just send you the new stuff.
Yeah, I wonder, do you have an option of two-wave shipping? Like if you wanted everything that's already produced, you can get that first and then get the new content later. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. The other end of things. Rabbit, a game of superstitions. So here's the thing. This is Pink Tiger Games and stuff. I actually don't hate the concept of the questions.
Yeah,
It's a one-note thing, but I like the idea of superstitions from different things.
Right.
You're cursing someone if you step on their what, and where's that from? I like that concept.
Yeah, this is a game I think that it would be easy to, just kind of make fun of it. But I think that this is one of those games where, yes, while there's maybe not a whole lot behind what it is, I like the story of it, and I think that it's a neat idea to kind of the story of, hey, we're all kind of dealing with being a little bit isolated. This is a way to maybe be connected to other, I can't remember how she put it, but the creator of the game put it really well, that it was a way to kind of be connected to the larger world. I think that's a neat idea.
I think it's nice to see a party game, basically one of these, trivia type card games that deals with something different. This is not a clone of any other trivia game I've seen. The closest thing I can think of is like Wise and Otherwise, which is this party game in which you fill in answers, and it's sayings, right? And that one's kind of like Balderdash. That one's very similar to Balderdash. This feels different. I like it. Now, is it a one-trick rabbit? Yeah, it's a one-trick, but I like that it's a new one at least. It's not something you're going to play a lot, but it'll be a nice change of pace. I like it. I think it's a nice idea.
A nice conversation starter, too.
Yeah, right. Especially if you meet folks from other places in the world.
Right. Yep.
This would be a cool game to bring out and then see which ones they've heard in their own life experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, for example, if you were playing with people from Egypt.
Oh, I was going to say.
That was supposed to be a segue.
I was going
back. Terrible.
All right. So, Gods of Egypt playing cards. Really ornate box here.
Yes. This is actually, Tom, what's funny is I was surprised when I saw it on here because these were on. I had clicked the heart on these on my own when I saw them on Kickstarter, maybe, I don't know, a week and a half ago or something, because they look fantastic, and I was considering, when I get that reminder, backing them myself. I think I just backed my last deck of cards I backed was from the same designer, maybe, or the same graphic house or something like that. And this is from, this is first created, none back, so it is a different person, but I think they are producing through that Riffle Shuffle playing card company is the same company producing this.
Well, I like these normal suit cards here. I like how they have that little symbol inside them. It looks really good.
Right. It's a little change. It makes them custom, but they're subtle. It's attractive. It's in theme. I think this is a gorgeous looking deck of cards. And the last ones I got, I also bought both decks, and it was the same color scheme. Silver on blue, gold on red. And
those look great. They
both look good.
Yeah, these look really slick. They really do.
Yeah, they've gone all out here. I mean, these chord cards, they're just gorgeous. I'm sorry. Those chord cards are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting better. I'm trying to pick ones I think Z might like. All right.
Yep.
I'm all over those.
All righty. Now let's go to dice. Handcraft Zircon Glass Legendary Creature Dice, otherwise known as dice with a mythical creature on one of the sides.
Mm-hmm. I'm very confused. Are these not molded? They're making it sound like they're actually handcrafting these out of glass, but clearly that can't be the case, right?
Maybe they're using the same method Roy does to make his dice. I don't know.
It's blown glass.
Oh.
They blow it into a perfect square.
No,
got it. Got it. Okay, now. That makes sense. See, that makes sense.
I don't hate these. I wouldn't back them, but I think they look nice. But that's about it.
I really like the way they look, except for the mythical creature side.
What's wrong with the mythical creature?
I don't care. I mean, what's it fit? Like, what's the point?
You roll and you're like, oh, unicorn.
Right. And so if that was the low roll, then you could use unicorn as a curse word. You'd be like, oh, unicorn. But I love everything else. I like how translucent they are. And I do like the style of number they're using. I like it. I just don't like the characters on the one face, honestly. Everything else I do like.
I'm just disappointed that it's Diving Hippo Studio and they didn't make a Diving Hippo die. That's a mythical creature to me. Bring out a Diving Hippo. I want that.
I agree.
All right. This one is barely funding, but it is funding. Dawn on Titan, which is...
I have to tell you, this is the best video probably of the last, I don't know, 3 months that we've been doing this. I love this video. It's very, very charming. Did you guys watch it?
I did not watch it.
It's really, it's not going to translate here, but it's actually very funny. It's legitimately funny. You'd have to have the voice, the over the top voice acting, and them making the pew pew noises. And then you'll see here in a minute, a guy comes in and he's acting like he's in a voiceover booth, and then they come back and do the pew pew stuff. It's very cute. So anyway, about the game.
This looks
okay.
cute.
I will say,
I
feel like he may be getting the critical mass on this retro 60s space theme. I'm cool with that. I liked it, and now I feel like we're starting to mine that territory a bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
I still am a sucker for that retro futuristic look. I love those posters that are like, Visit Titan.
Right.
I love that
like
kind of
travel
stuff.
Posters.
The travel posters for, far away planets and moons.
Mm-hmm.
I think this cover nails that feel. I love the trail of the ship going through the A in Titan. It's just beautiful. And then I start to get lost a little bit. This game kind of like picks me up and puts me back down. Like the character illustrations, I'm not really loving. And then the board, I'm not really loving the look of that board.
But those silkscreen tokens look cool.
Yeah, then the pieces look great again. The pieces are beautiful. Then I look at the cards and I'm like, I don't know. So
you're a vacillator.
I am vacillating.
Tom Vacillator. And the price is good too, right? What's it, $39 maybe?
Yeah, 39.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks nice. I understand what you're saying though, Tom. I do feel like that maybe they're kind of going to the well a little too often, but it does look good.
Well, what else has Aeon Game Design made? Oh wow, they are going to the well.
Yes.
Expedition Z. I haven't seen that one, and I don't even know how to pronounce that one.
Herp. I don't think that's a P.
What?
Herp.
All right. This one here is probably not going to fund at this point, and I'm a little disappointed by that. Finding Anastasia. Huh?
Mm-hmm. I'm a little surprised it's doing this poorly.
Doesn't
I really
it seem
am.
like this would? It's different. It doesn't look like the other games on Kickstarter. It has a very princess vibe. I mean, it's obviously it's based on the same theme that movie was based on.
Anastasia?
Anastasia, right? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. This is also interesting in that it seems it's a social deduction game, right? That's super quick. And it seems like those usually do really well on Kickstarter.
I think they used to do really well, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that you're talking about going to the well too much. For one, I'm kind of done with social deduction games. And now the trick seems to be make them 10 minutes long.
Right.
Like, okay, but it's still the same old thing in many ways. Now, I will agree. I think the look of this is very different. I love the meeple pieces.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are very nice, unique meeples with the shoe and the star, the little flame. I think the meeples look great. My main thing would be, another social deduction game.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but Sean Howard used to do some videos on our channel.
Is that right?
Ago. Yeah.
Huh.
He talked about Kickstarter stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. This game's kind of appealing to me, actually. And I don't love social deduction games. I just feel like this is not going down that traditional. It doesn't
agree
look
with
like every other social
Mike.
deduction game.
I love the look of this game, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm interested." When I heard social deduction, I'm less interested.
Yeah, I guess it's funny because I usually actively avoid social deduction games, but this is one I would play.
It does still seem strange that it's not funding. It's not a crazy goal, 20,000.
Right.
For a game that is this different looking, you know what I mean? It's got its own flavor. It's got its own style.
Yeah.
That opening image, which with all the meeples across the bottom, that's an attractive image.
Yeah.
How are there not enough people out there? I mean, it has 191 backers. Really?
Yeah.
That's it? Only 191 people are interested in this? I know that, I mean, again, Kickstarter, you're always sort of gambling on whether something's going to be good or not. I get all of that. But I'm surprised that only that many people are interested in possibly getting their hands on this. You know, I agree.
Alrighty, let's take a look now at an expansion to a game that just came out a few months ago, and that's Roman Roll Gladiators expansion. Roman Roll from David Turtzi and Nick Shaw. Or was Nick Shaw the base game, or is he just the expansion?
No, they both designed the base game.
Ooh, I've never played a roll and write that gives me this level of experience and this depth of strategy.
Ooh, a smart man said that. Who said that?
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like one of your quotes, Tom. That actually makes sense.
Oh. They would not have used my quote in this game because my quote was basically, why is this a roll and write? It's a fairly hefty board game that could have used, instead of like taking a resource, you have to like write the resource on your board. I don't find any amusement in that. It's almost as if I shouldn't even say it's almost as if David Turtzi told me himself to my face that he was going to try to make the most in-depth roll and write game ever made.
Sure.
I don't know.
What's wrong with that, though? I mean, what's wrong with
because the whole point of roll and write is like I have a paper and pen and I can do something. But if I'm just drawing a board game, why would I not rather just play the board game? Why would I rather not put the pieces on the board and move stuff around?
Well, because maybe you don't want to have 150 resource tokens sitting around, and maybe it's much quicker to set up and play a roll and write game like this. Maybe you want to play a midweight Euro that you can set up and play in 5 minutes.
But all your maybes are wrong.
Oh man,
incorrect. No, I think.
No, you said you. You said maybe you. They're not incorrect.
I'm just saying, that's true. I liked Roman Roll quite a bit. I'm excited about this. I think it's a game that definitely lends itself to expansions because more god powers, more things that you can more buildings, all that kind of stuff. It's good. I'm happy that they're adding on to this.
To be clear, I think
like
the game
is title, right?
Roman Roll?
Yeah.
What about that next game, Tom?
Do you like the art, Mike?
I'm ambivalent about the art. I don't love the art.
Do you like the symbols on the dice? Do you find the dice easy to read? The answer to that is going to be either a lie or no.
No, I don't think they're any more difficult than any other iconography that you find in a Euro game. I mean, you have to learn what the symbols mean. No,
I'm saying that when I looked at the symbols, they kind of blur together on the die for me. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I didn't dislike the game. I thought the game was fine, but it was too much work, and it has that problem where you might rub stuff off by accident with your arm, which.
I mean, sure, that could happen. I do think that maybe there is, this expectations versus what you get. And when you see a roll and write game, you expect it to be one thing, and this game is definitely something different. I can understand that.
Right.
Well, either way, doesn't matter what I think. Lots of people have liked this game, and it's done well enough. I told Mike, in seriousness, I was surprised that this Kickstarter is so quickly on the heels of the original game.
The only thing I'm really confused about is why this cat has green blood.
Look,
that's true.
Hard to say. Are
there aliens or something in this game?
There weren't in the base game.
I think
that's one of the things they added.
Component. Yeah.
Let's take a quick jump here to Robert, and we'll be right back.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game, seeking crowdfunding. Maybe I got a fear of missing out on it. Maybe you do too. We take a look together. And today we're going to take a look at the expansion for Roman Roll Gladiators. In Roman Roll Gladiators, we're still rebuilding the Rome after the Great Fire, but the Emperor is asking players to sponsor some good old-fashioned gladiatorial combat. If you aren't familiar with the original game, I definitely recommend checking it out, as it's truly a game that took roll and write to a place that I didn't think it could be. A roll and write I actually enjoy. It's a medium-heavy Euro disguised as a heavy roll and write with a bit of history gameplay tossed in for good measure. I might even call this game a bit of civ building, which you know I love. This expansion introduces new buildings such as the Board Game Club for Leisure and a Temple for Religion, a new resource in Iron, and there are new public advisors who can add benefits to the actions you take. Even Nero and the Gods have brought some new bonus and favor cards to your aid. Also included is a new character, Rudiaris, a retired gladiator who's gained his freedom. But the star of this expansion is the new Gladiator die and Colosseum itself, where the combat takes place using a good old-fashioned tic-tac-toe mechanism. Now, this expansion feels like a natural progression of the game, and something that now I would feel is missing if I were to play the game without it. The Neutral Foreman edition now brings the two-player variant into the game as a primary rule as well. While being a game that claims to be on roll and write, this game firmly sits next to my other medium to heavyweight Euros that use dice placement. I just happen to be writing on boards with a dry erase marker and now playing an actual fun version of tic-tac-toe. The game really shines versus the original in terms of 2 players and solo though, but I would consider this a must-have for anyone who owns the original game. If you don't, then I recommend taking a look and maybe picking up the original and the expansion all at once, especially if you're like me and you love your Euros, but think you dislike roll and writes. This game might just change your mind the way it did for me. All right, folks, that's going to be it for this week. I'll see you next episode, I think with FOMO Rewind.
Well, I guess that's 2-1 now here, so I will accept defeat. Z would probably also love the game.
Are you not entertained?
Roman roll, a complex roll and write, probably not, Tom, but I haven't played it. I might.
All right, Dawn, build a village or build your fortune. Can't do both.
Not both.
Nope.
No, your village is very poor.
I will say right off the bat, the one thing I noticed, I was like, this is different artwork than most.
Yeah, and it's cool. I like the look of it a lot.
I really like their the art style in this.
Yeah.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always enjoy something that feels different than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And the cards, it's like, well, Z says charming, but that's really the case here, I think.
Yeah, what I like is it's got a sinister vibe without hitting you over the head with it. It's like it's cool. It's very unique.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. There's something that makes it feel like a period piece in some ways, right? Or
yeah,
it feels like it came from a little village in Europe somewhere. That's kind of the vibe I get from this artwork.
Right.
Feels incredibly personal to someone, and I can appreciate that. So I really, actually, my least favorite thing about the artwork is the logo. The logo is okay. Everything else I really like.
But it's a social deduction game. So are you guys? What are your thoughts on that? I was about to
say that it's another social deduction game. So again, that kind of pulls me out of it. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah,
and it's a social deduction game of the type that I feel like we've played a bunch of, which is basically play cards face down at a location, move cards around at locations, peek at cards, that type of thing.
Now here's the
I don't know what their difference
is. It's for 2 to 5 players. That's an odd thing for social deduction, and I don't know any social deduction game that's 2 players except that dumb one that you and I played.
Well, that Finding Anastasia game is listed as 1 to 8, I think, Tom.
Who am I?
Am I the traitor? I don't know.
All right.
I would rather play. I would play this. I know. Like I said, I am kind of over social deduction games, but I like the cards in this. I like I don't know this. If it kind of approximates a Battlestar Galactica-esque social deduction aspect, if it takes it from that game somewhat, I would be into it.
Alrighty. This next one's a weird project.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought, wow, $79,000 Factoria. Then Mike pointed out and said, hey, this project's only available in Japan.
Right.
Correct.
And in fact, that's about all the information we can say about it because the whole page is in Japanese and Z refuses to learn Japanese.
I'm sorry.
That's so short-sighted of you.
As soon as I have some free time, I promise I will learn Japanese.
I wish I knew because I really do like the look.
I want to know more about this game.
Right. It really is cool looking, and it's making a tremendous amount of money too. So, well, tremendous. I mean, I think it's doing well.
For a first-time company, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a cool look for sure. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, they said if they find, American company. Oh, here it is, right here,
Right.
right? There's a possibility this game will be sold by foreign publishers in the future. Well, that's also kind of like obvious. Yes, well, I know there's a possibility. So if you're a publisher, please contact them. Maybe I should contact.
Hey, look, I was gonna say, Tom, you, me, and Z. Let's pool our resources. Let's contact Cafe Sunny Bird. Let's make
I'm
this
busy
happen.
learning Japanese. Don't bother me.
He's learning Japanese. He's learning Japanese.
You'll be the silent partner.
I really think so. All right. I know that I'm probably the only one of us three who's excited about this one, but Beasts of Balance Rebirth. Now, Mike, have you played Beasts of Balance?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was, I don't want to go down the cliche well of more activity than game, but it kind of was. But it's really, I mean, the pieces are beautiful. I think it's a neat idea of morphing the animals together to make a new animal. Yeah, I think it's cool, and I'm excited to see them doing new things with it. I'm a little worried that especially if you go towards the bottom, there are like so many different add-on things. It's like this could end up running you a lot of dough if you wanted to go all in on it.
Well, it's if you already have it. So I already have it. So the new stuff that I've seen, they got this Phoenix and this T-Rex.
They got a whole bunch of dinos now. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Did they add more since I backed it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've got all kinds of add-ons.
Oh, no, there's.
Yeah, they even thought you were getting out cheap.
Everything in. Oh, from Game Trays, Mike.
That's it. That's all Mike needed. He's back in.
So, Mike, folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, what this is you place these shaped plastic pieces on top of this plinth, which hooks up to your electronic device. And it's a dexterity thing. You're trying not to make them fall. And then you can combine these creatures to make crossbreeds. And it will show you like a mixed half tiger, half polar bear, or half eagle, half T-Rex, apparently. So each one that they add to this program exponentially increases the game.
The cost? Oh, yes.
So I have almost everything for the game. I just don't have all these dinosaurs.
Here, get ready. Here's all the add-ons, Tom. Here's all the add-ons.
This one's already out. This one's already out. This one's already out. This one's already out.
Are they? Okay, I didn't realize that. I
have all that other stuff. That's been out for well over a year.
Wow.
So
okay.
The only thing new is the dinos. And then there's this battle game, Mike, which actually turns it into a game.
Okay.
So you play against somebody else and you're both stacking pieces, trying to keep your creatures alive longer than other people's.
On the same base, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I forget if I played or watched you play. It's a really neat contraption.
Yeah.
My kids really liked it.
Yeah, they were selling this at the Apple stores. It was not just at game stores. I mean, this was going beyond just hobby board gaming.
Well, because it was expensive enough to be sold at the Apple stores.
Correct. That is the truth.
Correct.
It's the truth. All right. Here's the other playing deck of cards I put in. This one's called Nebula playing cards. And when I put these in, I thought, I bet Z will like the Egyptian one better. Am I correct?
I do very much. This one's nice. It's an attractive aesthetic. I have a couple of issues with it. There's no color variation between the red suits and the black suits.
And I wouldn't play it solely because of that.
Yeah, right. Everything is just sort of that swirly purple number. They also don't ever show me any number cards. I think their designs for the court cards is actually very lovely. I just don't like the singular color. And I do want to see some number cards. Come on.
Why don't they show the number cards? That's weird.
Probably boring is why.
That is interesting.
So,
well, here, if you look at the thing here, they say custom pips, custom ace of spades. Well, they say custom pips, though, and completely custom courts.
They get away with saying that even if it's just a color swap. They are custom.
Okay.
They look to be the normal shape, and then just that swirly purple pink number.
That's why we have Z, the card expert, with us. All righty. Right. Well, I like the box and everything, but I didn't like the one color. That would bother me too much. I mean, even if they made it like dark purple and light purple, but
yeah, these aren't super playable. They're more for collecting, I think.
Let's jump back to games with factory floor, and this one's barely funding. It's really small, but it was cute enough. I thought was worth looking at. Another Polyomino style game
It's
with
barely funding.
Yeah.
Oh no, I know. I just that it looked interesting enough to put out there. I like the theme about making your own little factory, and
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
It
looks like this
I
is
do
going
wonder
for.
why. I wonder why it's barely funding. Is why I say that. Because I mean, it looks all right.
Yeah, I wonder, is it too simplistic? It looks like it's going for very much, kind of an entry level crowd, but you would think that if anything, that would make it more appealing to a lot of people. I don't know. Also, I feel like, haven't there been kind of a lot of games that like this, of factory, build a factory, polyomino? Haven't there been like 2 or 3 games like this recently? Or
yeah.
maybe
Maybe it's the fact that the game itself, Mike, doesn't look that quality. Not the box is fine. The art I'm okay with. I'm talking about the actual tiles and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks.
Yeah.
And the score sheet, for example, looks really boring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. Well,
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
fun, so it's
Yeah.
going to happen. So that'll
Right.
be interesting to see what will happen.
Yep.
Hello. Hello.
Tiny.
You guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you. Were you saying something?
Yeah, I guess I was frozen. Okay, cool.
Oh.
You guys have been frozen for like 30 seconds. And I was
That's
just going like,
fantastic.
hello, hello, anybody hear me? Hello.
We missed you. All
That's a
right.
Anyway, yeah, you moved on to another project even. I mean,
Now we're back. Factory 4. Okay, we were just.
no,
What are your
I'm
thoughts
done.
on
I'm
Factory?
done with it. Whatever.
All right.
Tiny turbo cars.
Tiny turbo cars. This one's doing a lot better than I thought it would be doing. $85,000. But I looked, it's a very inexpensive thing here. It's 25 pounds, 30 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it uses that.
It's euros, not pounds, Tom. Come on.
Yeah.
Pounds.
Did I say, oh, you're right, euros. Sorry. This is from Horrible Guild, and it looks like you're moving these things around in that little toy you had as a kid to program your stuff to move around the board. I like that concept a lot.
And it kind of looks like a game controller or like it's supposed to be a remote control. I like that look. I mean, Horrible Guild, I would pass this over in a heartbeat. I don't really like the look. It seems kiddie. It seems kind of goofy. Because it's Horrible Guild, I then would, if I was just browsing Kickstarter, dive a little deeper. I think they know what they're doing over there.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. The main thing that makes this a no for me is that, as stupid as it sounds, I hate slide puzzles. hate them. They frustrate me to no end. My brain doesn't work that way. And so a whole game built around a mechanic that drives me crazy, I don't know that I would do well with this.
Well, I think this looks fantastic. It looks so unique and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like there's a lot of little cool extra goodies with different cars and vehicles. I don't know.
You like the
And
artwork?
I like those slide puzzles.
Do
I like the artwork?
About the artwork, yeah.
I like it. I especially like the artwork on the cars themselves. Like right here, you see these little. It's very cartoony and silly artwork. The board itself
I don't love that.
is okay.
That I don't love. I don't love the logo either. The actual game logo, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the artwork. It's a little too. I don't know. It's like on the wrong side of cartoony for me, which is weird. I normally like cartoony artwork, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Mike, are you good at unscrambling words?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll do the slide puzzles, and you unscramble words, and we'll get through just fine. Okay, because I cannot do that.
All right, that's right. We'll make up for each other's weaknesses.
All right, now we're gonna jump to Lawklivya, Vengeance.
Can you even get past the name? I mean, honestly, it's like this might be a really good game, but why on earth would you name your game something that is just physically hard to say?
Only for you, Mike. This might mean something in a different language.
But
I mean,
I
for
don't know
us,
that
for us. Definitely for Tom. Did you hear him try to say it?
It looks like it's from Canada.
Oh, never mind. No forgiveness. Zero forgiveness.
I will say, in all seriousness, if this does mean something, then that would be different. But I don't think it does. It's a made-up land, right?
Lawklivya.
I don't get.
All right, well, forget the name. It has awesome animals
Cleveland. That's what it is. It's in Cleveland.
fighting each other. And I like the artwork on the cards, okay. And then I got to these warrior meeples. I don't like them. They what? It's so weird. These warrior meeples and these acrylic standees are so different.
Yeah, like this actually exactly what you're looking at right now, Tom. Every one of those is from a different game.
Right.
Literally,
Yes.
every one of those things is from a different game. Look at the resources and the way they look. Now look at the meeple artwork for the warrior meeples and the sharp edges, which is a great look, but very different. Then the standees. Then those blood drops don't even look like they fit the resource tokens. They found stuff and threw it together. I mean, somebody's Carcassonne got raided for this.
Yeah.
It could be a decent game, but I don't know. There's just so many red flags. And I'm telling you, I have trouble getting past the name. I really do. That bothers me.
This might be cool. I have no idea, but I am not, because of the few sort of little annoyances, not tremendous stuff, but because of those few little things, I'm not tempted to dig deeper. That's the problem. Also, that cover screams plaid hat.
You're right.
Yeah,
is it the same artist?
True. Very true.
I don't know if it is, but that would be funny if it was the same artist.
I don't hate the cover, actually, but
No,
also
fine, but Z's right. Now that you mentioned that,
it's
definitely a plaid hat
right.
cover.
But that's why, because I tend to like plaid hat covers. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's a pretty cool cover. Yeah.
They also need to pick a place to be from. You're either from London or Canada. You cannot be from London, Canada.
All right. Anyway, they're from Lawklivya. Anyway, let's go to the next game. Another tiny game. Tiny Epic Dungeons, the most successful Tiny Epic game to date.
Yeah.
30,000 backers, and look how much the numbers have changed, folks, since I pulled this up maybe 30 minutes ago.
Well, the one thing, Tom, the one thing that you can say, I mean, for sure, that separates this from any other Tiny Epic game is that it has minis. And I don't think that plus it being the highest funded Tiny Epic game are mutually, I think that that's why. I mean, also it's a high fantasy theme. I think that's appealing to a lot of people. So I'm not surprised it's doing as well as it is. I do wonder if it's going to translate, the Tiny Epic games. Is this theme going to translate well? We'll see.
How big is this box?
It's going to be a regular Tiny Epic box.
I mean, the regular size, then how small are these minis, man? Because this game, the Tiny Epic boxes I've seen are small.
Right. I do believe that this is going to have 2 boxes. Maybe when we scroll down a little bit, we'll see that. But I think it might be. That's
so dumb. No, just make it double depth then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I could be wrong.
Not be that, but I boxes. Now here, see, once they do these updated characters, I'm like, oh, there's this panda and the woodland elf and this guy, and I saw her and I was like, wow, I like these. Why didn't they put these as the main characters? Why did they use such boring, generic? They use the same old things. A dwarf with a hammer and the original stuff. I like these extra characters way better.
I agree.
Oh, so no, the second box is just for the stories expansion. Okay.
I wonder how they're going to fit those minis in there. It's going to be tight.
Yeah.
This looks all right, man. I mean, again, it's a tired theme, but clearly people still are into it. And I like their art style.
And look, the bottom line is that
bright, look of it. So
yeah. One of the things that I think that Gameland has done so well is they've created a kind of a series of games, and people like me that are completionists, I've backed this because I have all the other Tiny Epic games. I'm going to back this.
You even have the bad ones? What is wrong with you? Completionists are weird.
I've played all the Tiny Epic games, Tom, and I think that they all have, some I think are clearly better than others, but even the ones that aren't as good, I still think are fine games. And I like this model. I know you don't, and that's fine.
I have said nothing bad about this thing since we started. I have not, except for I thought the generic fantasy. I don't like that, but I think that's a reasonable complaint.
No. I mean, I don't mean this game specifically. You've had issues with Tiny Epic as a product model, is what I'm saying.
I've stopped beating that drum. It is what it is. People like what they like. I'll try this out and I'll judge it based on the game. There's a lot of dungeon crawlers out there, so it has to stand up against them.
Yeah, I will say this though. One thing that they've also done is they've built up a lot of trust because they run these campaigns like clockwork. You get your game when they say you're going to get your game, generally speaking, and it's like one fulfills, another one launches. One fulfills, and you could say that's a good or a bad thing, but generally speaking, they fulfill on what they promise. So that helps too.
Yeah.
All righty. This one was a surprise for me. Ragnarocks. And they're like a fast, fun game from the designer of Santorini. That's all they want you to do is read that word Santorini. But it worked.
Yeah. I will tell you, it does.
Because it really, really looks like a sequel to Santorini, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does.
I mean, it's got the same, even that deluxe base there with the thing on top of it. It's like, hey, the designer of Santorini discovered hexes. That's basically what they could have said. And I'm like, I'm there. This looks very attractive. I like the pieces. I'm assuming they're going to be able to nail that sort of transparency on those stones.
Yeah.
If they can get that component looking right, then I'd love to play this. It looks neat.
Yeah, and I'm
really
not sure
I like the faces on these people, but
see, I kind of do it, but it's not as much in that picture with everyone together. But when you scroll down and you see the individual cards, I do like that. It's very stylized, so I know it won't be for everybody. But it reminds me of well, of course. But it does remind me of the Santorini God cards a bit. I like it.
Yeah, this isn't That's Mr. Cuddington, right? Or Cuddles.
Mr.
Not
Cuddington,
Cuddles.
yeah, the husband and wife team, I think, yeah.
Right.
I like the look. I like the big-headed weird cards, Tom.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Look at that squirrel, Tom. That squirrel is going to wreck you.
Well, thanks. But yeah. It's fine. I don't dislike it, and the game looks really cool.
It does.
Saying it's from designer Santorini is like an automatic back for a lot of people. So,
Yeah, I'm into it. I think it looks cool.
So instead of Santorini was originally
Roxley.
Roxley, yeah.
And then didn't Spin Master pick it up after?
Yes,
They did, and put out an even higher quality version.
He says sarcastically.
All right. Last game for today, one that's not our style per se, but definitely very popular, the Red Dragon Inn 8 Pub Crawl. The Red Dragon Inn is going for the most expansions to a game.
They're in the running, yeah.
They are, for sure.
I mean, Slugfest Games has something that people like. And they keep making them like this is another standalone game. And it's all about passing off the who pays for the bill at the end of the night,
Right.
But this one looks like there's a lot of other things going on. I haven't played this game in who knows how long, so I don't know what anything here even means because it looks so different than when I saw it before. Although I do like this Star Tusks.
That is clever. That is clever, yeah. I mentioned completionism with the Tiny Epic games, but I've seen this in action, completionism here, because, I used to work at a game store just kind of for fun. And there would be people that would come in and they'd be introduced to the game. Someone had taught it to them, or they played it at a friend's house. They would come in and buy every Red Dragon Inn thing that we carried.
Wow.
Everything. So there are people that really are into this universe, this world. And I think that they've found a very, very loyal group of people that like their games.
And this is doing really well. 240,000, almost nearly 4,000 backers at this point. Yeah, they have 8 days to go. This is doing insanely well, and that's what it is, right? You give people more of something they're used to, and they want to complete the collection.
Yeah,
I've played the Red Dragon Inn. I don't really like that game style, but man, if you are into it, you got lots to pick from. That's cool.
That's right. That's true.
All righty, folks, we're about to tell you our picks of the week. You can vote yourself. I just put a poll in the chat. Go ahead and click on it. We'll pick the people's choice. Which of these Kickstarters are you most interested in? While we're waiting, let's take a look at some off-the-wall stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, you can always email me at tom@dicetower.com. Do you want sockless, odor-busting, eco-conscious sneaker? I mean, as soon as I saw the sockless, I'm out because I can't stand wearing shoes without socks.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't.
I like flip flops, fine, but not. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
put a whole shoe on without socks. No.
No. But this is, I don't know, I'm strangely intrigued by the fact that this is all natural materials. Like it's basically tree fibers. And I mean, I don't know. It's really, I like the idea of it, right? I like the idea of you know, hey, be more sustainable and all that kind of stuff. And if they actually can hold up to use and they have the durability of a regular shoe, I mean, hey, that's great. I have nothing against trying to, you know, be more sustainable, but I don't know
I'm trying to
why
figure something out. I'm trying to figure out. There's a picture. Can you find where they have the shoe breathing thing, Tom?
Yes.
Like, what's that about? What are they showing me exactly? It's
The
near
one
the
where it's
top.
underwater, right?
Yeah, I like that
Right
one right there. And so it's doing that. I'm like, okay, so what are you saying? That the shoe is breathing? Like it's producing oxygen, or oxygen will escape if you trap some in it and then submerge the shoe?
I think what it's saying is it's about sweat. It's basically saying that it's not going to trap sweat in your shoe.
Sweat is not air.
I'm
underwater.
jumping to Cocoa Caramel Micro Cakery.
You don't tell me how to sweat, Z. I won't tell you how to sweat.
So look, a postal sourdough Babcock luxury butterscream celebration cakes. I don't know why this one just looks cool. Although
I don't want to back something like this on Kickstarter. Come on.
I just want to show the cakes up. All right, someone in the chat has pointed out I missed a pretty big Kickstarter. I don't know how this happened.
Oh.
So let's throw it in.
Oh,
Root, the Marauder expansion. Well, I blame Mike because Mike should have noticed this was missing. He's the Root guy.
You're killing me with this. I was so sure I had my pick of the week.
All righty. Well, unfortunately, People's Choice aren't going to be able to pick this one because I didn't put it in the poll. But oh well. So
still looking at these cakes right now.
All righty. So this is another expansion for Root. This is the third, I think, Mike. Is this the third faction?
Correct. Basically, yeah, because you had the river factions, then you had the Clockwork, and the Underworld. So it depends on how you look at that. Maybe the fourth.
Well, okay, that's the third one that adds new factions, right?
Right.
Okay. So we have the Keepers in Iron, the Lord of the Hundreds. Well, there's just a ton of
and then you've got these hirelings. You've got these hirelings that you can add to smaller player count games, and then you've got 4 new of the automated bots. Yeah, I'm Root is in my top 10 games of all time. I'm definitely back. I was day one backing this. So
when did this start, Mike?
It was a short campaign. I don't think it was very long.
Maybe that's why I missed it, because I always make our list ahead of time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love Root. and more Root, and it seems like they continue to add little tweaks to the system that make it even more exciting. So
well, I'm seeing that this is the biggest project of the week. Is it bigger than Tiny Epic Dungeons? It is. This is the biggest project. Whew. All right.
It's popular. There's no getting around that. I've got to play it still. I've yet to play it. I was told, Tom told me the app is good.
The app is
way
great.
to do it.
The app is fantastic.
After I learned Japanese, playing Root is next.
All righty, Mike. I'm going to put you on the spot here. What's your pick of the week?
This really stinks, Tom. This really stinks because I was feeling really good about my pick of the week.
The one you don't pick, I'll pick, Mike. What was your other one?
My other one was Stroganov.
Okay, all right. When it comes to me, I'll pick that. Go ahead.
All right, then because I'm backing Root. I'm already backing it. But I'm also probably going to back Stroganov because I think that's fantastic too. So I guess we're not allowed to have co-picks of the week. So I'm going to go with Root. It's in my top 10 games of all time, and I'm very excited about the new factions. I'm excited about the new Clockwork bots. I'm excited about the hirelings. More Root.
All right, Z, what about you?
My pick is Ragnarocks.
That was in the running too, actually. That was in the running too.
Forget what Mike said about some meat tube or something.
Pick it.
Ragnarok's, honestly, the only thing I don't like about all of this is that title.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
It's a bad title. I hate pun titles. Ragnarok's just is lame. Everything else looks great, man. So, yeah, another game from the designer of Santorini that seems to be in the same vein and has a really similar look. I'm there for that.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, my pick of the week is actually going to be Tiny Turbo Cars. I really like how this one looks. I think the concept, it feels different than the other things on here. I know that, Mike, you said you hate moving those things around, but I think the idea of moving them around to get your best thing, but I don't know that you're solving a puzzle. You're just trying to get the best thing you can get.
Yeah, I think it's a neat mechanism. I think it's a neat idea. I just am bad at those puzzles. But yeah, this does look like a Tom Vassell game, doesn't it? This when I saw this, I thought this is a Tom game right here. It looks right up your alley.
Yeah, that's true.
And I like silly things like the car racing, and this looks like one I would have a good time playing with the kids. And I think that's a good price point and everything.
That's true too. And like I remember Z was saying, Horrible Guild, they've really done some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think people's choice is?
Tiny Epic Dungeons.
Well, Tiny Epic's, the root is out, so it's got to be Tiny Epic. Yeah, I think.
You guys are incorrect. Tiny Epic Dungeons almost got it, but the winner is Stroganov. That makes Mike happy.
Wow, that's great. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to back this. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
you're already backing Root though. Can you back two things at the same time?
I might back Ragnarocks easy, and as a matter of fact,
allowed to back one Kickstarter at a time.
I'm backing the cakes and I'm backing the shoes. Whoa. And I'm putting them underwater. I'm going to wear them underwater, Z.
All right, fine, Mike. You do you.
All right.
Good job, people. Good choice.
A lot of stuff. If you have weird, unusual, funny things that you find on Kickstarter, and you want us to talk about them, if it doesn't have anything to do with zippable pants, we'll probably show them on a future Dice Tower. Yes, folks, I also enjoyed that particular Kickstarter, but we weren't showing it on our family-friendly Dice Tower channel.
No, there was no way to get
still live? So I might back.
I bought you a pair for Christmas, Z. You'll be fine.
Zip it up.
Oh, great.
For the annual Dice Tower hiking trip that we always take.
Yeah. Wonderful, yeah.
All righty, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I'm Mike DeLisio.
Have fun playing games.